Hello, it's Anna Hill here with the Farming Today podcast. The Soil Association threatens to pull out of certifying organic farmed salmon unless new, stricter standards are brought in. We'll have more on that a little later. First, if you were listening yesterday, you'll have heard the Deputy President of the National Farmers Union, Paul Tompkins, calling for more government action to help farmers access enough water to grow food. Well, with the climate becoming more extreme, the management of water in farming becomes more vital than ever. With this in mind, a pilot study has been taking place in Shropshire to assess how technology can help farmers preempt risks from flooding and drought. Scientists have even developed an app to give landowners a better idea of what they might face. Bob Hockenhull reports.
I'm walking next to arable fields near the River Strine, north of Telford in Shropshire. With me is Jerry Knox from the Water Science Institute at Cranfield University. He spent the last 2 years conducting research in a 2,000-hectare area covered by the Strine Internal Drainage Board.
We've put in a network of wireless sensors across the catchment to try to understand the hydrology of the system, to try to monitor when these low and high flows come through the system. And what that enables us to do is to give farmers information about what is happening in their local watercourses. Is the flow declining? Is it stable? Or is it increasing? But then by integrating information on rainfall, taking data from radar data for the next 3 days, we can predict how the river flows may change. And that gives the farmers much clearer line of sight as to what's happening in the river system. One of the challenges that the farmers have really faced up until now is that we have no information about the local hydrology within which they farm. There's good information from the Environment Agency, but we don't have information that is resolved to the local farm scale. The main solution that we all believe in is that we need to be scalping these flood flows. We need to be harvesting the high flows, whether they're coming through in the summer or the winter. We need to be using our reservoir storage more intelligently and trying to join up those assets rather than using them as single storage assets, trying to collectively use them.
An app has also been developed to inform farmers about what they can expect from the river. So you're showing me the app now, Jerry. Talk us through what we can see.
So what we've got here, Bob, is a map of the catchment with the sensors identified. We can click on one of the sensors here at Harper Adams Pipe Strine, and then the data provides us with the information on the flow in the pipe strine over the last few months since December. So that gives us a useful historical record of how that flow regime is changing over time. But also the app provides us with a 3-day forecast, taking the rainfall radar data to predict how that might impact on the flow here in the Strine. And we can see from the data that it's forecast to continue to decline steadily over the next 3 days.
Managing water more carefully will not only benefit agriculture, Jerry and his team say it has many other potentials, for example, helping with peatland restoration or even selling it for use in data centres or to help generate hydrogen.
That report from Bob Hockenhull. Tomorrow, farmers will be gathering at Groundswell, the farming event which promotes healthy soils and sustainable farming practices. And all week we're exploring more about the earth under our feet. It's easy for all of us to take soil for granted until, that is, you try to grow something in it. Well, one of the very special properties of soil is that it holds micorrhizal fungal networks which bind together vast numbers of microorganisms which are important to plant health. But we don't know that much about how the networks operate. Nina Pullman has been to meet 2 scientists from the University of Sheffield who are part of a project that they hope will provide vital new evidence and potentially change the way we work with soil for good.
So we've got different size meshes, the nylon meshes, and we're looking at micorrhizal fungi.
How do you actually separate fungal networks? What are these meshes made of?
It is like a nylon mesh, essentially.
Really? That's all it takes?
Yeah.
There's one here. Katie's got one.
So if we go down there, this is just one that I was doing yesterday.
I'm Katie Field. I'm a Professor of Plant Soil Processes at the University of Sheffield.
So hi, my name is Emily Magrillo, and I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Sheffield.
So we were awarded £8 million over the course of 10 years by the Royal Society, provided by DCIT.
And how big is that in terms of the field that you work in? Give us a sense.
It's pretty big. Yeah, what's really unique about the type of funding that we've been able to get, for me as an ecologist, it's about the scope. So we can run a field experiment for more than just 2 or 3 years. When you're looking at slow growing stuff like fungi and you're looking at slow processes like carbon sequestration, that's not enough. You can't really get a good handle on the dynamics of the system at that sort of time scale. It's a unique opportunity to get a handle on the long-term cycling processes and kind of the dynamics of that and what role fungi play at that sort of time scale. So it's kind of a really nice example of public funding actually moving the science forward.
Where do you see the gaps in this particular area at the moment?
Yeah, it's a super spicy topic at the moment, actually. So in micorrhizal research, there's been a big spotlight put on micorrhizal networks, and I'm sure everybody has heard about the Wood Wide Web and about how the trees are talking to each other and they're sharing resources. Well, it turns out the evidence for that isn't 100% robust, and actually that story has got well ahead of where we're at with the actual science. And so what we're aiming to do ultimately through this research is really understand what mycorrhizal networks actually do and what does that mean for the ecosystems that they're kind of underpinning. So in this situation up in Bradfield, we're looking at acidic grasslands, but we've also got a paired site over at Lancaster University at their Hazelrig Field site, which is based on a totally different soil type. So we're going to have that also added, that sort of geological diversity.
Is it going to have implications for kind of livestock farmers? Are you thinking more arable?
I think this research has implications for all types of farming, because ultimately all farming relies on plants and plants rely on fungi that live in the soil. Directly arable farmers, some of the crops that we're working with at the moment, including wheat and barley, we're finding some really exciting stuff about how they work with their mycorrhizal fungi and different capabilities of different cultivars. But also people who manage grasslands. So it has big implications for livestock farmers, particularly if you're wanting to reduce your inputs in those improved grasslands, so pasture, etc. You might be able to use the results that we're finding.
So, for example, what might come out of it?
What we're hoping we're going to find is, one way or another, the functionality of these mycorrhizal networks. So what are the benefits to plants of being part of a common mycorrhizal network? Because that has huge implications for then how you manage the land to either preserve those networks. Do you spend a great deal of effort, time and money in minimising disturbance, etc., or does it not really matter actually that much? And it's, that can have big implications on how you go about restoring landscapes or dealing with your fields or looking after a grassland or something, which is really exciting. Like, you don't ever really get the opportunity to do that. So it's kind of, we're just starting. So it's all exciting and new, yeah.
That report from Nina Pullman, and Charlotte will be bringing you everything exciting and new from Groundswell on Thursday's programme. The organic certification body, the Soil Association, is warning it may withdraw from the farmed salmon sector unless higher standards are met. The organisation says while current standards are being satisfied, they're not driving the improvements in the industry that they want to see. They cite high fish mortality, unacceptable levels of sea lice, and the use of harmful chemical treatments. Only a small fraction of Scottish salmon farms are organic. If the Soil Association walks away, the farms will still be certified, but not to the higher standards it says it represents. Its chief executive, Helen Browning, told me what improvements they want to see.
We are concerned to look at things like feed, the sustainability of feed, particularly as the sector grows. You've got a very dynamic organic and conventional salmon sector, which is growing very quickly. So some of the problems that may not be evident when you're doing this at a small scale may get more of an issue as it gets bigger. And then you've got challenges coming down the line like climate change, which are impacting on the performance of the system. So we're looking at feed sustainability. We're looking at the location of sites to make sure that they're not interfering with sensitive marine habitats, the release of chemicals into the sea, mortality issues. So there's a whole load of areas where we want to make sure that we're getting this right.
Are some of those standards just not attainable, do you think?
Well, that's what we need to work out. And that's why we're working with everybody from every quarter, including the industry, to say, right, given the new technology that's available to you now, given improvements that you say you can make, where can we get this to and how quickly can we get it there? Because we want to be absolutely confident that organic salmon can live a good life and that we are not having undue environmental impacts. So where we have concerns about those issues, we want to be able to set a standard that will resolve them, and we need the industry to say, yes, we can do that, we'll work with you, we'll make this happen.
Surely consumers need very clear information here. Suggesting that there might be different levels of organic quality might be confusing.
Yes, but in salmon, we are the main certifier of salmon in Scotland. And so we've got the opportunity to drive that benchmark higher. And we've been in a situation over the last 50 years where the Soil Association has always set higher standards in areas where we feel that the regulation isn't moving fast enough. We do this in a whole load of areas now, on things like poultry systems, on the use of peat. There's a whole lot of areas where we feel we need to be asking for more change faster than we can persuade Brussels or the government now to deliver. We don't make a big song and dance about that because you're right. We want organic to be, an easy choice for people, whoever's certifying it.
If you do walk away and others have to just meet that baseline organic standards, nobody wins, really. The marine environment doesn't win, nor the fish, nor the consumer, really, although there will still be organic product there on the shelf.
That's absolutely right. And that's why this is a really big decision for us. We would much rather be in there driving forward standards, making this better, because if we're not doing that, then, the sector does not benefit from our involvement and the opportunity to actually drive that change. We don't want to do that, but we also want to make sure that when people see organic on a label and it's certified by us, that they can have real confidence in it.
Is this going to work, this strategy?
Who knows? We're in the middle of a process, and so far it's been very revealing. It's been great to be working with the sector and really learning about the new technologies that are coming through. Things like well boats, for instance, which weren't on our horizon 5 years ago, where instead of having to treat animals in pens in the sea, you can take them out of the sea to treat the fish and contain any product that you're using without putting it into the sea. So there's lots of things that are changing very quickly. And it takes quite a lot of time and effort to stay ahead of all those technological changes and to deal with the new issues that are coming down the road as waters warm.
Helen Browning from the Soil Association, a spokesperson for the industry body Salmon Scotland, said salmon farmers are committed to the highest standards of fish welfare and environmental responsibility, supported by robust regulation and independent third-party certification. We've been in constructive, ongoing dialogue with the Soil Association as part of its review. And if you'd like to comment on anything you've heard in the programme, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us. It's farming.today@bbc.co.uk. That's all from us today. I'm Anna Hill. The producer was Sally Challoner. Farming Today is a BBC Audio Bristol production.